Published, 13:14 GMT, August 16, 2016. Updated, 8:19 GMT, August 17, 2016. A man who was stabbed to death after running for his life down a suburban street has been named as 18-year-old Lance Scott Walker. Neighbors watched in horror as he was chased by his attacker after a fight broke out inside a property in Hayes, West London, yesterday afternoon. The teenager collapsed and the attacker is said to have sat beside him and repeatedly stabbed him in the back as children looked on. Idris Hassan, 18, who lived on the estate and is believed to have known the victim, was arrested and has been charged with murder. Scroll down for video. A man who was stabbed to death after running for his life down a suburban street has been named as 18-year-old Lance Scott Walker. Neighbors watched in horror as the teenager was chased by his attacker after a fight broke out inside a property in Hayes, West London. Pictured, paramedics fight to save the victim. Emergency services were called to the junction of Guildwood Gardens and Guildwood Drive, indicated on map, shortly before 4 p.m. on Monday. An 18-year-old man remains in custody. Neighbors today described Lance, who lived in nearby Guildwood Gardens, as a kind, quiet boy who was humble and polite. He has not yet been formally identified, but police say they are confident the body belongs to him. Father of two, Gurdeep Chagger, 47, said he ran out of his home to try and save the youngster's life after his daughters, aged 11 and 12, told him what happened. He said, "My daughters went out to get ice creams. They came back and ran up the stairs saying, 'There's a guy stabbing a guy, seriously Dad.'" Mr. Chagger, a single father, said he stayed with the teenager until paramedics arrived. Another witness, who did not want to be named, said she had initially thought the commotion was just kids playing around. She said, "I wish I could have helped, I wish I could have done something." The white boy was running for his life, a young white teenager. He was stabbed multiple times. The boy had his shirt off and he was covered in blood. The victim collapsed and the attacker is said to have sat beside him and repeatedly stabbed him in the back as children looked on. Pictured, paramedics at the scene yesterday. The street was completely empty at the time, but her screams brought residents out onto the street, she added. She said the other man allegedly walked off with the knife still in his hands. Emergency services were called to the junction of Guildwood Gardens and Guildwood Drive shortly before 4 p.m. on Monday. Despite the efforts of paramedics, the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Scotland Yard said the argument started in a semi-detached home on Guildwood Gardens. It is believed the property is a halfway house for troubled teens. Arjinder Murk, 33, lives next door to the property. He said the teenager who died was polite and really nice. Mr. Murk said, he used to stand out her and say, "How are you doing?" He was a calm man and he was humble. He was always by himself. He didn't look thuggish like the others. He was a kind, quiet boy. He was the nicest one, in my opinion, and he was vulnerable. Neighbor Jas Bassey, 41, said, "I had seen the boy victim around. He seemed perfectly nice and polite." Detectives from the Homicide and Major Crime Command led by Detective Chief Inspector Noel McHugh are investigating. DCI McHugh said, "We are still in the early stages of our investigation, and whilst we have a man in custody, we still require the help of the public to understand the full facts which led to Lance's death." The incident occurred in broad daylight and there were a number of people in and around Guildwood Gardens that afternoon who either witnessed the lead-up to the incident or the murder itself. It is imperative that anyone who has any information that could assist us with our investigation contacts us as soon as possible. I would like to reassure those who have concerns about making contact with the police. The information you hold could be significant to our investigation, so please do the right thing and come forward. Hassan, who lived in Guildwood Gardens, has been charged with murder. He will appear at Wimbledon Magistrates Court today. Share or comment on this.